coaches, if you're one of my clients, you learn the 13 situations you have to practice to run the triple option effectively so that you never have to backtrack to move forward. But I get asked this question a lot about the number one situation that you have to practice once you get done going over every possible situation you could ever face. The triple stack defense is that situation, and here's the reason why. The first reason why is because of where the action key is aligned. When he's a zero technique, that's probably the most effective place the defense can put the action key, which is the first defensive lineman inside the read. And the very simple reason is because he'll always be on the play side. So basically, if you want to give your offense the greatest challenge, you want to have a zero technique. And I've done qualitative interviews with coaches from Army, Navy, Georgia Tech, Citadel, Jacksonville, Air Force, and past FBS, FCS level triple option coaches. This is the most common difficult situation for offensive linemen is to cancel a zero technique as an action key because you can't avoid him. He's on the play side. So you want to cover that situation. The next situation you want to cover is this, because what you have here is you have one and two stacked, 3 is an overhang, and then you have a number 4. So by rule, the receiver would block him, the A-back would have to block him, and then the quarterback has to read 1 and 2. But if the receiver makes a lion call, he changes the scheme from an arc scheme to a load scheme. And what happens then is this guy becomes number 3, this guy becomes number 2, and this guy becomes the Mike. So what happens is number 4 becomes number 3, and then the A-back can trap him. The quarterback can take number 1 and number 2. The receiver will block the Mike, and then the tackle will veer inside on the lion call, and these two will block these two. One will block the Mike, one will block the safety. So you want to cover that situation because here's the thing, coaches, and I've done over a 9-year study, you will load over 70% of the time at the high school level. You will load over 70% of the time at the high school level. And what I've learned through 9 years of research is the smaller the school you are, that number can go up as high as 90% because most small schools play with a single high safety defense. The other thing, too, is you want number 1, number 2 on the line of scrimmage because it gives your quarterback the greatest challenge. People think the easy stunt is the greatest challenge for the quarterback. But in reality, you're going to see a blood stunt more than 80% of the time at the high school level. Based on a 9-year study, quantitative study and qualitative, you're going to see a blood stunt more than 80% of the time where number 1 and number 2 are on the line of scrimmage. And if you're a threat establishing the dive, you can bet that he's going to start canceling the B-back and he's going to start canceling the quarterback. And they're going to try to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands, which is what you want them to do because statistically, you'll get 200+% more yards if you pitch the ball than if you give it on triple. So you want to get the ball pitched. But this situation right here, if there was one situation for which you'd have to cover, this would be the situation. The triple stack defense, the 3-3-5, 3-5-3, 5-3, odd stack. Lord knows there's many names. It's real simple. When 1 and 2 are stacked, 3's an overhang, and then you have a corner by the receiver making the lion call. 4 becomes 3, 3 becomes 2, and then 2 becomes the Mike. Because you have a zero technique action key, the threat of the blood stunt, and it's a load scheme, those 3 situations are the most common situations you're going to face at the high school level. So you want to practice those situations. You can do that within one defensive framework. So focus on this in 2018 to maximize your triple option offense. Talk soon.